Guys, we are live. Okay? We're live up in here. Boy, my boys. No, 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 no. Copyright. Copyright. No.
Did you just delete it?
No. Hello, minion. Ah ha ha ha. Ah ha ha ha. No, no, no. I'm sorry about him. He's very autistic. I'm sorry. Um, you want to hear a song? Do you want to hear a song? This is not correct. No, no, no! Copyright! Copyright! Wait here.
Put it on again.
Fun. Are you okay? Oh my god!
I did that purposely.
Are you okay? Oh my god! Jesus Christ! Okay, guys. So, today on this stream, we're gonna be unboxing. It's an unboxing video, by the way. We're gonna be unboxing a Nintendo Switch Lite. Look at it. Look at it. Oh my. We have 4 viewers. Oh my god. We have 4. Oh my god. Oh my god. So, are you ready, guys? Wait. Give. 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 Inside.
Hey guys, we just unboxed.
No, we didn't!
You made me angered. Somebody left. Oh, sorry, that was a food reveal.
I wasn't supposed to do that until 100 subscribers. Okay, I'm sorry. Here, you ready? We're gonna unbox. We're gonna unbox. Hayden, come here. Come here. He's playing copyright, my boy. You joking me? Jesus Christ. Fake boy. Okay, now we're gonna be unboxing the Nintendo Switch Lite. See? Broski. He's not doing it. See? It's a Nintendo Switch Lite. But that's not what we care about. We don't care about this crap. We only care about this. We're gonna be gaming with the Pro controller. Okay? Does that sound like a good idea? To me, it does. So, what game should we play, Brosif? My bro, my broski. What do you want to play? We could play Minecraft with a gaming controller.
Use that. Here, we can play double player.
No, we're not playing double player.
You're right, double's gayer.
Can you stop for like 5 seconds? I don't want it. I don't care. Can you hand me that, please? The tripod.
Break it.
I'm not. I'm putting my phone on here so I can actually see. Could be gayer. See, look. I got my stream pulled up on a tripod. See, look. Look. There. We got set up. Can you just please set it up? Bro. What the heck? We're logging in! We're going maximum mode! We're gonna do this, my bros. Go do your little dance. Go do your little dance.
Oh, fine. Who commented that or that?
Nobody.
Just you on here?
Yup.
Okay, hang on. Let me see if I can get a shiny Magikarp.
Nobody cares. They want to see you do your dance, bro.
I will do my dance one more time.
How many? Do we have any viewers actually?
Nope. Okay.
We have 3.
I'm gonna do it now.
You're gonna break something. I'm such a. You're such.
Yes, Smithy.
Hayden, stop!
I hear you jumping on your bed. Oh,
We're making a video.
funny. Here.
Stop, Hayden.
I can make those pizzas. Kind of pizzas, or I can have hot dogs, or I can pizza.
Yes, please.
Pepperoni.
Say hello. We're streaming. Yay! Hayden, please turn it off.
No. Pepperoni or cheese, Johnson?
Pepperoni and cheese. Pepperoni and cheese.
Milk, everybody.
Oh my god!
Don't worry.
You got it over your Switch! Good thing my waterproof case was on.
Oh my god, that's golden. Oh my god, that is great. Oh, that's golden. Milk, everybody. Milk, everybody. Milk.
Milk! Can you go get me some calcium, please? Oh my god! Milk, everybody.
This time, everybody.
Milk, everybody!
Okay, this time.
Thank you.
Ah.
I want milk. Get me milk.
Bro. Milk, though. Milk actually go hard.
Don't. You can.
Milk go hard.
You already almost broke something. You got it off your Switch, by the way. Milk, everybody. Hayden, can you get me milk, please? I need milk for my gamer needs. I need milk for my gamer needs.
Hang on.
Milk everybody.
Milk everybody.
Make everybody. Milk everybody. Go get me milk, please. Ooh, got chaka. No! No! Get me! Get me! Get me! He had some sort of weird substance on here, on the floor. Ah! And he was also playing copyright. And we found a Wii Fitness board! Ah! No. Uh, uh, uh,
Milk everybody.
uh.
Milk.
More milk!
Milk everybody.
Thank you.
Milk everybody.
Yes, I'm drinking out of my Little Pony cup. If you don't, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, exactly, guys. What the heck?
Milk,
Exactly
everybody.
what you get.
Milk, everybody.
Bullets.
What's that?
I choose.
I don't know what that is. What flavor? What is it? Gum?
Strawberry. No.
You gave me this. I have no idea what this is. Looks like gum.
Well, not.
Where can I put this that won't recreate milk, everybody?
Milk everybody. Milk.
Thank you. Thanks, bro. You know, we're gonna play Minecraft.
And I'm gonna play. We're gonna Zelda.
By the way, guys, we hit 1,000 views! That's insane! We just need to hit 50 now. Okay?
Wait, weren't you already at like 55?
Once. I lost them.
Why? You lost.
I need you. Tell me get to 50 subs.
Bro, you lost 11 subscribers.
Yep. People hate me.
No, I don't.
Yeah. By the way, there's still milk all over the floor. Not even joking.
More milk?
Okay. Can you guys still hear me? Is anyone actually there anymore? No,
I
there's
don't know, probably
one
not.
person. Here, watch me, Hayden. Watch me play Minecraft. I'm gonna play Minecraft. Minecraft's great. It's one of my favorite games.
Is that crack?
I am the milkman. Give me my milk. I need my milk. I'm the milkman. I am the milkman.
I'm the milkman.
My milk is delicious. See, milk and the milkman. I am the milkman.
I am the milkman. Give me my milk. I need my milk. I'm the milk.
There, Hayden, I got a stand for it. It's the Wii Fitness board.
We fit. We fit. We fit trainer. We fit trainer.
I hope we see a bee.
Oh! Yeah, dude, if you get a bee, make a bonfire and place it underneath it.
Why?
Underneath a beehive. That
Why?
is so laggy. Holy cow.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a new world. I think it's because it's like a couple editions down.
Okay, where do I gotta go? Okay, give me that. Shuckiest.
Badlands. Let's do it.
You're going to Badlands?
Yup. Yep. I'm going to Badlands.
Okay.
You guys can still hear me, right? Yeah, they can.
Is that the normal loading screen?
These don't taste good.
Don't want it, Irma?
Is that, Hayden, you should chat. Look, send something in chat and say, be like, the chat is here. Don't curse though.
Dude, your chat is disabled too.
No, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see.
Can't do shit. I can't do anything!
What the?
Bro. Your chat's disabled.
Technical difficulties. Play copyright or something. I don't
Okay.
play the minions again. Hey, why didn't you guys tell me if the chat was disabled?
Yeah, come on, what the heck?
Yeah, come on, bro. Fight me. I'm so stupid. Oh, no. I just milked everybody myself.
Oh, you milk!
I milk everybody. Okay. We'll get back to the Minecraft content. I'm sorry, okay? Bruh.
I'm the milkman. My milk is delicious.
I am the milkman. My milk is delicious. Yes, Hayden. Sure, Boomer. Sure. Okay, Boomer. Da 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 da. Da, 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 da. I am the milkman. My milk's delicious. Staring contest. Ready, set, go. Stare into my phone.
Start on your phone. Ready? Jackson, go! You already failed.
Start. There, started.
I still haven't blinked once.
I still haven't either. Well, I mean, I started before you, so.
Here, you know what?
You know what? I won. You actually just blinked. I'm not even joking. No, no, no!
No, it's my turn.
Today, we're gonna be doing some ASMR. How was that ASMR? Some good stuff. like Fortnite. We like Fortnite. We like. So guys, Hayden, give us a topic we can talk about together, me and you.
Whether Trump should be elected or not.
No. What is your opinion? What is your opinion
My opinion on what?
on if Trump should be elected or not?
I don't know.
He sucks. He's garbage. If you're watching this, Trump, screw you. You can go lick my dingle dongle.
Whoa, Jack.
I'm sorry for my extremely explicit language. I'm sorry. Sorry, guys, for my extremely explicit language. I'll stop. Chat's on.
It is? Okay, good.
Now go check it, so make sure it's on. Please.
Plan for the wild.
Just do it! I'm playing Minecraft again.
No, it's not.
It's not.
No, it's not.
You actually crapping me? Hey, now here's a discussion topic. If Rhode Island is a why is old
It's either a
road
or
or yeah, exactly. It's neither road nor an island. So why is it called that? Huh? It's neither road nor an island. Like you're joking me, right? You guys don't have any opinion on that? And the person left. Now we're all alone. Huh? What?
I got myself a traveler's bow.
We're gonna try a new stream. See if that one does better. Goodbye.